Our next card is the Knight of Swords in reverse. This is, I want you to look this up. The Knight of Swords is not a good card. This is the Ruler of Swords, but it's the Knight of Swords. Okay, so the Hanged One is saying right now you don't see your opportunities. They're going to manifest for you. This one's showing you big changes coming, but actually this represents a man. It usually represents a man with a fiery temper or is a fire sign between the ages of 20 and 35, they say, but it doesn't have to be exact. This represents an abuser, a bully, someone who is charming on the surface, extremely quick-witted, and that hides their real personality. Someone who charges into things head first, just wild. Somebody who doesn't think things through very well. Someone who's aggressive. Someone who is dangerous. Some of the other things I pulled up here because it has so many. And take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Being out of control, leading others to trouble or danger, heading for a fall, being insincere, self-obsessed, rude, tactless, hurtful, sarcastic, cynical. Remember to be mindful of the words you use and their effects on others when this card appears in your tarot reading. It could signify going along with the flow and being a sheep or a follower. Someone around you is acting superior, is being a know-it-all, or has an inferiority complex when it appears. This male is overly cocky and impulsive to the point of putting others in jeopardy. He may be an air sign, such as an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. This can indicate a person who is not the most intelligent or communicative, but they're a quick thinker, a fast talker, and they use those strengths in the wrong way. Talks you into trouble, rushes into things, puts himself and others in danger as a result. In the extreme negative, he could be arrogant, aggressive, illogical, and intimidating. This card can also signify a bully, a criminal, or someone who is vicious or dangerous. If you're in a relationship, the Knight of Swords reverse can indicate that you're in a relationship with someone who embodies the qualities outlined in the above section. Be careful if this is representing your partner, as it can indicate that they're controlling, abusive, aggressive, violent, or dangerous. You or your partner are out of depth, and you need to put the brakes on. Be very careful. If this is the case, as the reverse knight can be aggressive, vicious, and dangerous. Again, this card can also indicate infidelity, but I'm not sure if that's I'm not doing a reading on that, and I don't think that has any implications here. If you're feeling like you've missed out on a lot, the universe is going to line things up for you again. But one thing that is certain is if you refuse to move, the universe will turn it upside down, shake you. They'll make you move. How do you make someone move? How do you make a frog move? You make them uncomfortable. Poke them in the butt. It doesn't necessarily have to be like an all-out, drag-out, ground-shaking fight for you to turn and walk away. I don't see anything here that's telling me that reconciling or talking things out is going to be in your benefit. If you have someone that's gaslighting you, there's no healthy way to have a conversation with them, because they're always going to project and they're always going to deflect. And you'll just end up going round and round in circles forever and never getting anything accomplished. A narcissist they will not accept accountability for their actions, because the way that their brain works, they think about it, they may feel bad for a second, and then that bad feeling, guilt or anything like that, it will trigger them to turn around and look for a way that it's another person's fault. Their brain is literally built different. Mental illness, like I said on TikTok, he can tell you a lot about how that works, because he is a narcissist. The Ace of Swords. And this is the end of the reading here, except for the two oracle cards. The Ace of Swords and the Hierophant in reverse. So I told you Aces is usually going on alone. I find it odd, not odd, but I find it pretty cool that you have your card there, your Ace of Swords, right near the end. It's going to show that you're going to come out of this triumphant, and you're going to be going at it alone. But on the very top of there's a crown. I wish I could show you. Hold on, right there. There's a crown because you're going to come out of this triumphant, first of all. And not just that, I mean, there's a reef, there's a Merkaba, there's like a moon. I mean, there's so many great signs. You've got the infinity circle that's going on, the wreath of victory. I see not only do you have the ability to rock it, but you have the strength to, you have the intelligence, honestly. I mean, it takes a lot of smarts to be able to do this. You have the strength, the divine blessing, and the intelligence to navigate this situation in a way where you'll be better off. It won't be for nothing. Even just getting out of a situation like this isn't for nothing. You might think that you can't make it on your own, but I promise you, you can do 100 times better on your own than you're doing right now. It'll be a lot easier. I know I told you in messages, you know, we don't know how much of your relationship is affecting your children's, you know, what they're going to therapy for in their states. But I've noticed in my household, if there's a lot of unrest, if there's a lot of, even if there's just a lot of silence, if there isn't a overwhelmingly positive environment, a lot of encouragement, a lot of optimism, a lot of positive self-talk, a lot of positive talk about others, admiring strengths, then my son, the symptoms that he shows with autism get way worse. More meltdowns. He becomes unreasonable, very moody. You know, his communication skills will even revert. Like, there was at one point in time he just decided to go backwards on his potty training. He won't put his clothes on anymore. Like, he won't put his shoes on. He won't learn as easy. And he's also just very angry. And that doesn't even come from an abusive environment. That just comes from, you know, maybe I'm not as present with him as I usually am, and he's spending more time on his phone, and I'm spending more time in my world dealing with my stuff, and I'm just not engaging with him as much. It has just the, you know, the positive reinforcement and a parent who's present and actively engaging with their child, not when they're bad, not when they're, you know, not when they're sad, not when they talk to you first, but just actively engaging with the kid, sitting down, hey, what are you watching? What's going on? Hearing a parent that talks good about themselves and their spouse. That's so important, because that's what helps to give your child confidence. If I don't have that positive, which takes a lot of work, but that positive environment in place around my son, he goes from being extremely high functioning, you cannot tell he's autistic, to absolute meltdown, dangerous meltdown, hurting himself if we don't watch him like 10 times a day. Do not underestimate the power of positivity and negativity. And you as a mother, I know you have every good intention at heart, but you as a mother cannot make up for the negativity of another person in the house, 1, and 2, you can't take the dad's place. Your positivity cannot outdo his negative impact. I've tried. You can't. If he's having a negative impact, you know, earlier I was talking about how sometimes when you have a negative person in your life, It's actually just better not to have them there at all. Sometimes you have a bad parent who does more harm by being in the child's life than the harm that they do by being completely gone. I personally, I don't have a relationship with my mother because just the fact that I knew she wasn't capable of loving me, or she wasn't, she's just so apathetic, never makes an effort. It's just in the back of your mind that they never make an effort. It's always in the back of your mind that they don't try. It's always in the back of their mind. Like, the only time they talk to me is when I need something, or when I'm bad, or when this, or when that. Their presence there is detrimental if they're not bringing something positive to the table. So yes, there's trauma involved with losing a parent. There's trauma involved with parents splitting up. And I always hear, I'm going to stay together for the kids. Staying together for the kids, whether the situation's abusive or not, staying together for the kids is never good. It's always worse for the kids. Childhoods are going to have trauma, but you pick your trauma logically. Okay, so do I stay here and all of this crazy stuff happens and there's a lot of stress and my kids see me living as a shell of my former self? They see me being disrespected. They see that I tolerate disrespect. Well, that's teaching the kids about their self-worth. Well, if my mom's only worth being treated like this, then I must be worth the same. The way you're treated in your relationships shows your children how relationships work. Friendships, professional relationships, intimate relationships. What we show our children is what we're modeling to them, and that's what they're going to live when they're older. That's what they're going to accept when they're older. So yeah, it's traumatic for your parents to split up. But if your parents aren't happy, and even if you're young, you know when your parents are happy and not. I knew my parents weren't happy. If you split up from a happy situation, and they see you doing what is best for yourself, they see you holding people accountable, they see you not accepting disrespect, they see you, leaving situations that aren't in your best interest, they see you investing in yourself, they see you talking good about yourself. That's all things that make a huge impression in such a good way. Because their little brains are like little sponges. And they watch everything. And even though you think you're holding it together, they know there's something wrong. They know you're on eggshells. They know that you're not smiling. Even when you're smiling, there's pain behind your smile. They see that. So pick the trauma. And think about, pros and cons list. It hurts for them not to have the dad. It hurts to not have that support. But how much support are you really going to need when you have such a liability over here? Someone who adds so much. Your life literally revolves around this man and his reactions and his decisions and his whims and his habits. Think about how much more energy you'll have when you're just with your kids. There's way to get childcare. There's ways to get housing. There's ways to get help. There's ways that you can improve your life. And I know right now you're probably like, I don't even know what I want to do with myself. Well, that's okay. You get into a safe space where you can actually take a breath, catch up on some sleep. Once you figure out how you're going to survive, then the dreams can start rolling in. The Hierophant in reverse here shows, it shows that you want to do things in a non-traditional way. And this can mean a lot of different things. This could mean, non-traditional as in like the nuclear family, where you just kind of want to go it alone and not have a husband and raise your kids, and you're not necessarily looking for a man, you're just doing your thing, being a strong woman. That's what this could mean with you ending this story right here with the Ace of Swords, the One of Swords, by yourself, being a baddie. I see that happening. The Hierophant in reverse, it can show It's a heavy marriage card, religion card. It can show that right now, you know, you're living in a way that may be challenging your values deep down. Maybe your parents taught you that this is not okay to live this way. You know, you should be respected and loved or whatever. This card can mean divorce in a good way. It can mean setting your own rules and living by your own rules. One thing that's great about the Ace of Swords is this is a card of absolute victory. This is a card of new opportunities. Hold on, I wanted to pull up exactly like all the keywords because it's awesome. Hold on, here we go. Clarity, breakthrough, truth, new idea, concentration, vision, force, focus. I see this being a reality for you. I hope maybe I've helped you make a breakthrough. I don't know. I just came back. I've been channeling for a little bit and trying to put everything I'm seeing into words. Okay, so I'm back. Hello. You have a huge chance to have an amazing future. Like, not just okay, well, it's better than what you're in now. No. You are going to rock it. You are intelligent. You are smart. You are capable. You are strong. I know that you've been beat down and beat down and beat down, but I am telling you, you have everything that it takes to have a great life, to have a happy life, to be content. You're not going to have 4,000 plates in the air unless you want that plate in the air. It can be scary. I mean, you've probably been out of work for a while and you're like, how am I going to go back? Don't even worry about that. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. Don't worry about all this. Figure out which way you want to go. Make your baby step plans on how you're going to do that. If you need help getting in touch with resources, people, anything like that, let me know. There are numbers that you can call. Figure that out. If you have people that he has cut out of your life that are actually capable of helping you, they're not two-faced, you can trust them 100%, like a mom or a dad or a sister or whatever. Swallow your pride. If they're not a toxic person, now if they're going to get you in their house and they're going to be like, yeah, I'll help you, and then they're going to be a bunch of drama and you're going to be worse off, forget that. Go to a shelter. Do something. You know, if you got to skim money out of the account, gotta do what you gotta do, hun. Don't feel bad. Shoot. Hey, don't feel bad about treating you like crap, honey. Don't feel bad about doing what's best for you and your babies. I really see a lot of chances for success here. Then we got the Fate card. I don't know much about these Oracle cards. I'm a tarot reader, but the Pillar and Fate. So I'll end it on this note. And of course, if you have any follow-up questions for me, feel free to ask. All right, I want to see what these are about and what they say. And they're drawn on the energy of the end of the suit, so the end of the reading. Let me get my book out. That's the wrong book. Here we go. Yeah, these are really new. And I decided, like, you know, I wanted to go a little further beyond tarot. So Spirit would have a more creative way to be able to put messages together. Fate and the Pillar. I drew the Pillar first. One and four. Ether. Air. I'm spaced out again. I could feel like when I don't do this a lot, but I'm like in and out. The Pillar signifies a need to rise to the occasion. It indicates a time where we may need to be all things: the backbone, the nurturer, the provider, the lover. The Pillar asks for you to step into these roles as best as you can, knowing that you're being pushed outside of your comfort zone. You will learn just how capable you are. It is a time when we take our gifts to new heights and learn that our perceived flaws are just that, perceived. If you've been resisting a new opportunity or role that has presented itself to you, it's time to step into it and trust that you will learn as you go. I was just talking about that, I think. This is also a time where our container grows. We learn just how much space we can hold for ourselves and others. Continue to listen to yourself. Fill your own cup so that you can be there for others, but do not forget to push yourself. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. If you know something's in your best interest, even if you don't know how the heck you're going to do it, do it. You'll be glad you did. The balance pillar energy is being able to wear many hats to hold space for family and community, but doing these things with empowered boundaries. It's placing your personal well-being and needs first and knowing that your service will be better because of it. The unbalanced pillar can go in a lot of different ways. In an attempt to maintain all control, one can get domineering and manipulative. On the other hand, they might find themselves becoming codependent while forgetting their identity and gets wrapped up in the need to caretake others while forgetting about themselves. If you find yourself in the shadow of pillar, ask yourself, where can I soften? Where can I put up boundaries? What are my personal needs and how can I go about meeting those for myself? Don't use caretaking as a way to neglect yourself and to avoid making difficult decisions. When you're abused, it's hard to know which way is up most days. So thinking about something that's difficult and making plans for something you have no way of knowing anything about is literally impossible sometimes. You may want to save that message. Those questions, write down. Do a journal. Read about boundaries. Look at how you take care of everyone around you and deny yourself. Ask yourself if that is a coping mechanism. Ask yourself if it's a cop-out. Ask yourself if it has to be that way. Are you taking care of him being an alcoholic? Are you coddling him? Are you caretaking him because you're forced to? Has he made you his mother instead of his wife? Questions to ask yourself, hon. The Fate card is a reminder that you create your fate. Some lessons and experiences are inescapable, but we have free will and we have choice within the life we are given. This does not always equal fairness, and we do not all start life from the same footing. Nonetheless, each choice we make matters. From this place, we can approach the creation of our life in an empowered way. Empowerment. That word is important. This card asks you to get clear on the fate that you are weaving. This card's about the big picture and all vision. What are you working towards? What are you saying no to? When we say no, we are saying no to all the experiences that would unfold in the aftermath, but both yes and no is powerful when creating our reality. My son's awake, and it's about to get real loud up in here, so I hope that I've helped you, and I probably give you a lot more to think about than you probably wanted to think about. It's okay to watch this in pieces. If you need me to take this down at any point, let me know. And I hope I've helped you here. Feel free to ask me questions. Give me feedback. If you're upset about something I've said, that's okay too. We'll talk about it. Sometimes triggers can bring big breakthroughs. Blessed be.